Hello and welcome back to Calling Scotland, Forward to Independence. I'm Dr. Joe Murray and it's good to be talking to you again. Looking at all this that's going on just now, Brexit's everything, it's taken over everything, and this horrible, incompetent and verging on incredibly stupid Tory government that we have, and it looks like we may well have this Tory government for decades to come. Why do I say that? Well, a lot of people on the left, let's say, and I'm on the left. I support the SNP right now, but I'm on the left. I've always been. I was an old Labour man. My father was, my mother was, my grannies were. We were all Labour, but the Labour Party just seemed to disappear like smoke in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Slowly but surely died a slow death. It doesn't exist for me anymore, except to look at these people who are basically quite cowardly, actually, I have to say. When you look at how they behave and how they've behaved over the past number of years, frightened to even vote, and it's left us with this group of incompetence. I can't say anything else. They're absolutely incompetent. Or are they? Is this their plan? Is this the plan that they have? To make us all just think that they walk off with all the... Because competent or not, all the public money, all the money that was in the public hands now seems to be in their hands. So maybe they're not that incompetent, maybe just from the way we're looking at it. But the point here is that this government seems to actually hate ordinary people. The people who run this government, the people who own this government, we're talking about big corporations, we're talking about old money, new money, all of these people who think of the only thing in this world that is important is their money, and our money is their money. It's all about money, it's all about economy, all about money. Nothing about society or people or caring, nothing like that. And it looks to me, as I said, that we're going to be lumped with this government, this Tory party. God, party sounds gleeful, doesn't it? But this party, or this band of robber barons is probably more accurate for a long time to come. And I say that because I cannot see Labour now ever beating them, not for another generation or two. And I think that's absolutely a horrible thought. And why do I say that? Because there's been opportunities in the past 4 or 5 years for Labour to do something against this government. And when this government were bringing in their austerity, this unnecessary hardship on the people of these islands, rather than stand against them, they just abstained when it came to voting. They just didn't vote, which allowed, of course, this government to win all of its votes. They may have won them anyway, but at least you stand there, you stand up for what's right. But then you have to wonder, does Labour simply just agree with them? Because the austerity has been born out of the last 2 or 3 governments, of which Labour were part of. The WASPy thing, okay, that was 1995, the change in pensions, that was the Tories. But then Labour took over only 18 months to 2 years after that. And the 14 years that Labour were in power, they never told anyone. They never told these women that this was going to happen to them until the Tories get back in, and then they were told when it was too late. So they appear to me, both these parties appear to favour only themselves as parties and only their closest supporters. Ordinary people do not seem to figure at all. No matter what they say, we have to look at what they do, and what they do has not been good for this country, has not been good for the people of this country. Especially those below a certain threshold of earnings, because below that threshold of earnings, which might have been reasonably comfortable at some point, are now brought people into the level of poverty. There are people who are working in jobs, that are working hard, want to pay their way, want to pay taxes, but they want to buy their houses, they want to feed their children, they want to clothe their children. They can't do it anymore without public assistance. So they're actually paying for their own benefits, if they want to call it benefits. I prefer to call it social security rather than benefits. I pay my taxes to look after everyone, not just me. I don't make a lot of money, but I can make enough to live, and the rest of it helps somebody else. So be it. Now we are now governed by people who seem not to like us, who seem not to like the people of these islands. And it's desperately sad that we're in this position, but we've had the choices. We made the choices to put them there. We've had choices to remove them. And some people just vote simply because they vote for a party regardless of who's there. And really, we need to be paying attention who's there. And our media has abandoned any semblance of social responsibility. They stand now only for those who seek to take everything from us. Everything we have gained as a nation, and our nation is essentially a working class nation. Everything we have fought for and earned over the past 100 years, they've been taken all back over a decade or two. And that's just not right. We cannot stand for that anymore. But that's up to the people of England, because mostly the people of England vote in the governments down there. We can vote all we want up here in Scotland, and we get what we're given. And I think the time has come for that to stop. And it must stop. And we now have a safety net. We have a lifeboat. We have a parachute, whatever you want to call it. We have a government here in Scotland that has shown that it can look after people. But whether you like them or not, personality should not enter into this. But there's lots going on in this country that were not in the last 10 years that never happened in this country before. Where infrastructure has been built. We'll get more schools, we'll get more houses, we'll get more public houses now than we ever had before. Not what we had before, but we're building more of them now. Free tuition has been returned. Free prescriptions. We are protecting, and I'm saying we because I'm a member of the SNP, and I've never denied it, that we have been trying our best to look after society, because sustainability is absolutely crucial across the board here. And sustainability, you need to bring the three main pillars of that in: environment, society, economy. Now, if you look at some of these Venn graphs, you'll see some of them that they've got economy right in the centre of everything. Well, that's not really how that works. What it works is, let's just talk about three. If you can imagine three concentric circles, the outer one's environment, the inner one's society, and the middle circle is economy. Many will point to that and say, well, that's how important that is. It's at the centre of everything. But that is not how it works. Without an encompassing, healthy environment, we really can't have a proper society, or the one we want to live in comfort on this earth. So, the outer circle is environment. It encompasses and comforts society. And without a society, right there in the middle, economy is pointless. Economy comes last. It's important, of course it's important. That's why the three of them are included together. And you must always look at those three things if you want to have a sustainable life, a sustainable planet, a sustainable country, a sustainable city, a sustainable community, a sustainable home. All these three things have to work in concert. And when one of them gets taken out as the only thing that matters, as in the Western world today, money seems to be the only thing that matters to some of the people who are running Western societies, then we are in trouble. And if you don't believe me, then just look at your television tonight and listen to these braying donkeys talking about economy. Well, I'm not stupid, and I know a bit about economy, and this is not right. But here in Scotland, we, as I said, have a lifeboat. We have a way out. We have a government that has tried to look at a sustainable way of living. It has tried to look after the people in Scotland. It has built infrastructure that was never been built before. We've built motorways on time, within budget. We have built bridges on time and within budget. We have a decent National Health Service, and we are looking after it. We're looking after people. There's lots of other things we can say here about bedroom taxes, and yeah, some people in this country do pay a wee bit more tax than some, but most people don't, if you want to bring that up. But when you compare it to England, even the people are paying more tax than they would have been a year ago. Think about all the other things they get for free that they don't get down south, and that's quickly balanced out if you compare Scottish tax to English tax. You get more for your buck here in Scotland, because that's how we have decided to look at things. It's all about how we prioritise what we have, the resources that we have, and we Scottish people in particular anyway prioritise differently. This idea of a fairer society, that's who we are. And yet down, let's just say, south of the border, unfortunately there's many people down there feel like that too, but there's just too many who don't. And I honestly don't want to be associated with them anymore. I want to be free, I want to be independent, I want to work at creating a proper society And we can do that. There is a will. We are closer to our government than they are to the one down there. We can make more demands on them. So I honestly ask you that when the time comes, think about the future. Think about yourselves. But think about our children, our grandchildren. Because if we cannot give them what they need for the future with the stroke of a pen, I guarantee you within 20 to 30 years they will be fighting for it physically. And I'm saying this because I cannot see our youngsters putting up with what we are bestowing on them. But with these people down south who don't give a toss about us. And that's obvious, you just need to listen to them talking. We've even had Tommy Robinson of the English Defence League up here in Glasgow today, confronting a Scottish MP while he's conducting surgeries. Why is he here? Why is he here in Scotland? He could have booked an appointment to see him in Parliament. He comes from London, this guy. Why is he here? He's up here showing us Scots that him and his English Defence League mob are more important than we are, that we are inferior. They think that of us. Let's throw it back at them. Let's see how they survive out in the world, out in the WTO world that they think is going to be wonderful. Let me tell you something about the WTO. Well, just while I mentioned this, I'm just talking off the top of my head here. Under WTO rules, nothing in your society can be not-for-profit. If someone wants to bid for that business, and we'll talk here about social services, we'll talk here, if they want it, they're allowed to bid for it, and if you prevent them from bidding for it, the WTO will fine you millions and millions of pounds. How do we know that? Well, here's a wee thing. Do you remember Chiquita bananas? Or do you ever bought a Chiquita banana? Chiquita bananas took umbrage at Britain for buying our bananas from our historic sources like the Windward Islands that were part of the Commonwealth. And because we wouldn't buy Chiquita bananas, and Chiquita doesn't grow a single banana, by the way, they're just a company that buys and sells resources, and they used to be part of the United Fruit Company, by the way. And they went to the WTO and said, blah, 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 we should be allowed to bid for these. And the WTO told Britain that they had to do that. And Britain said, no, we're not going to do that, because this is where we normally buy our bananas. And we were fined, I think it was £1 million a day while all this was going on. And there was an embargo put in Scotland and Britain, and Scottish goods in particular in America, because the WTO is basically owned by America. They put an embargo, and America put an embargo in British goods. Quite a lot of stuff goes to America comes from Scotland. Their woolen industry in particular, the Aberdeen Angus beef industry, but the woolen industry in particular, the Harris Tweed almost went to the wall. Most of the woolen industry did. Harris Tweed almost went to the wall as well, simply because they couldn't sell in their biggest market, all because of bananas. I never buy Chiquita bananas now, or Dole, or Del Monte, because they were all one big company. It was broken up simply because of the behaviour in America. But that's what they can do to you. And if you work under WTO rules, and someone wants to invest in your National Health Service, you cannot stop them. You cannot protect it. So you want to go with them and lose your NHS and have people signing forms as soon as you walk through a hospital door and deciding whether they can treat you or whether they can't. If nothing else, think of that, because that's what will happen. It's happening now in England. They're already doing it. We have protected it up here. But if we go out into the land of the WTO along with England, and then the WTO will demand, and there's nothing we can do about it. They will bid for our services, and that's what will happen. And that's not a scare story. That's how the WTO works. So right now we can protect our National Health Service. We are doing that. It's not perfect. How can it be? We don't have all our financial resources at hand, but it's doing pretty damn well, all else considered. And we need to protect that. And if that's the only thing you vote independence for, then that's a good one. But there's so many other benefits that will come from being independent. Okay, that's my rant for today. So until next time, halapa, gubra.